Oklahoma City finds itself under a bright glare of the national spotlight, and the news is not good.
You have the right to remain silent.
Police have arrested one of their own.
36 counts! We want life!
Any reason why your penis would be out?
No.
In the worst sex scandal in the history of the department.
When the Holtzclaw story hit, the general reaction around town was just shock and dismay. I mean, nobody could believe the allegations.
Rookie police officer Daniel Holtzclaw, formally charged with raping and sexually assaulting 13 women while on duty. Poor black women from a community he patrolled. A community he'd sworn to protect and serve.
I have no sympathy for him because he brought this on himself by abusing these women, and to think that he could get away with it.
Now, the once brazen cop, whose badge and gun have been stripped, would have to answer to his victims and a jury of his peers as the case went to trial.
Day one was a long, slow ordeal. Every aspect of this trial was extreme. From the number of women coming forward that are accusing, the number of counts against the man.
For more than 5 weeks, jurors heard the lurid details of each alleged encounter. Victim Sharday Hill recounted being abused by Holtzclaw in a hospital room, where after her arrest, she was handcuffed to the bed.
I just look and it's there, his private is out, and he just started, I guess, putting on his clothes and went back and sat and was doing his paperwork. He made a comment, he was like, I'll pull down my pants and I'll out of you, but I'm on the clock.
59-year-old Jannie Ligons told jurors about the horrifying night she was pulled over by Holtzclaw, forced to perform sexual acts.
He backed off and he zipped his pants up really quick. And when he backed off, I got out the car, but I was so afraid. I said, oh God, he's gonna shoot me in my back when I walk off. I was walking really, really fast. I was just saying, oh, thank you, sir, thank you, sir, thank you, sir, for not taking me to jail. I said, thank you.
Prosecutors put all 13 of the victims on the witness stand. The women ranged in age from 17 to 59.
Seeing him in court, Jannie, what was that like for you?
I could see how he was looking at me in court, like other witnesses that I've heard, like he mugged and so forth when they were testifying.
Through his attorneys, Holtzclaw maintained his innocence, but the ex-cop refused to take the stand in his own defense. The only time jurors heard the defendant's voice was when prosecutors showed them the police interrogation video.
Do you recall putting your penis in her mouth?
I don't.
Would you recall that if you did it?
If I did, yeah.
But 13 women repeating similar tales of being pulled over and sexually abused was an overwhelming courtroom story. The jury deliberated for 45 hours. The verdict was unanimous. Guilty on 18 of the 36 counts, Holtzclaw did not handle the news well. The man with a buff, imposing size and confident stride broke down like a baby in tears. Watching from the jury box was Ronald Hill, juror number 5.
Those tears that we all saw, that you saw just feet away from you. What did you feel those tears were from?
Personally,
Yeah.
that he got caught and he knew he messed up.
In this exclusive with Crime Watch Daily, Hill reveals inside details about the jury's decision to convict.
The more we looked at the different victims, the more we saw their pattern, and the more we saw all the evidence that proved to us that he was guilty of the charges we found him guilty on.
There was concern that because of the past of some of these women. How was that for you?
My mind was opened up more, and I looked at it that they were women and he was a man. What their lifestyle was, they were still violated.
Period.
Holtzclaw faced a whopping amount of time after his conviction due to strict sentencing guidelines on rape charges. In fact, he was looking at far more than a lifetime behind bars. Then, on sentencing day, Holtzclaw arrived at the court, cuffed and shackled. I was there in the hallway, asking for a response.
It's the biggest day of your life. What do you have to say for yourself? What do you have to say to the victims? Are you praying for a miracle inside that courtroom?
Inside a hushed courtroom, the judge dropped the gavel with force. Holtzclaw would serve the maximum 263 years in prison. This time, Holtzclaw showed no emotion, seemingly resigned to his fate.
What do you want to say to your victims?
Being a police officer, he'll probably be in solitary confinement because, police officers who go to prison do not fare well, and they have to be separated from the other population.
This is an incredible moment for these women to achieve justice.
Outside the courtroom, his victims couldn't contain their feelings of relief and vindication.
He would never know the pain he's caused all of us and the traumatic change to our lives.
This is a victory, not only in the courtroom, but a victory over rape for all women all over the world.
And it was victory as well for Oklahoma City District Attorney David Prater.
I want the people around this country to understand, everyone to understand, that if you are victimized by a predator like this, people will believe you. There are people who will believe you. Police officers will investigate their own.
The next step in this for you when it comes to these women that you represent?
Well, the next step is about getting full justice. Many women, many experts say you never really get over a rape. And I pray that the city officials of Oklahoma City don't re-victimize these women and acknowledge them as victims, just like it would be if it was their mother, if it was their sister, if it was their daughter.
As for Jannie Ligons, the woman who sounded the alarm on the sex-crazed cop, healing has begun, and she's now being hailed a hero.
Thank goodness for Jannie. She had the courage to come forward. There's no telling how much longer he would have preyed on women. There's no telling how many victims would have been out there.
I don't really feel like a hero. I just did what I had to do.
The details of this case, Andrea, are just horrifying. Talk about the ultimate betrayal. But it appears to not even be over yet. There may be some new drama with Holtzclaw.
You know, Matt, some of the victims were in a panic. They were really freaked out, and rightfully so, because when they went into the prison database to search him, they didn't find him. So they thought maybe he'd been released, but authorities tell them they're okay. He is still locked up tight behind bars where he belongs. They say they did remove him, though, for his own protection.